Two good wins this weekend. Obviously, winning both in three, holding our opponents below 20 points in every set. It was good overall. The two different types of matches. Friday night, offensively, we really connected at a high level. Saturday, I think it was just more about defense. We defended at a high level. Both results were good, just a little different way of getting there. Well, it's always good to win. When you're going in, you don't want to come in with more questions. We talk about that as a team. It's about answering questions late in regular season. So when you go into postseason, you feel like you know yourself. You feel like you're performing at a high level, and you feel good about where you are going in. I think last weekend was good for that. It wasn't perfect volleyball, and it never is for any team, but it was good volleyball, and it was a good way to end regular season. And I believe that does transfer to this week. We need to have a couple of good practices this week, and then of course, we need the tournament. Anything can happen. We saw that last year. The number 1 and 2 seed, you work all year to get the double bye, and then both the 1 and 2 seed were out in the first round that they competed in. So you just never know what's going to happen. We don't know who we're going to play. We scout for all our potential opponents. You spend a little more time on your more likely or more probable opponents, but you never know how it's going to play out. So at the same time, you need to spend at least as much time on yourself and try to scout yourself. It's okay, how our team's going to come at us. What are some weaknesses we have that we need to, in our last few practices this week, improve just a little bit? Oh, it's great. It really is. And just to be at home, and it's interesting. We are this week. We are treating it's what's happening around the event more like an away event and more like a championship in the way that our team is when we're together, how we're doing things, how we're practicing, how we're doing video. We're really treating it as if we were on the road, but then we have obviously the familiarity of being in the Convo and having more of our fans there. So we're hopefully finding that balance of it's a championship event, because it shouldn't feel like just another home game. It should feel like a championship, but it should also feel comfortable, because this is the same gym you've served in all year, you've passed in all year, same fans been cheering you on all year, so hopefully we have the best of both. Sure. Well, Buffalo, obviously, we just played recently. If they are to come out, we know them. I think they're a very athletic team. They struggled in service receive when they played us, so that's something we know. If they pass one, they can be a really good team, and so that's going to be the big challenge for them is can they be in system. I think for Ball State, they're a balanced team. They have one middle that's really, really good behind. They have another middle that started against us, and they put another kid in. The kid that went in, she's been kind of tearing it up lately. She had a match that I think she hit 1,000. I mean, she's had some pretty serious matches lately. Maybe not as big of a block as some of the kids, but offensively a really, really good player. Of course, a great setter. I think they have one of the better setters in the conference. And then just balance at the pins. They have kids that can do different things. Their pins, they have some that are a little more ball control oriented, that are a little smaller, and they have some that are just kids that can really bring it with a lot of heat and play really high. So I think they're an interesting team. Just because you're not exactly sure what pieces they're going to put out there. They've shown different lineups as we've gone forward. And then with Kent State, obviously we've played them pretty recently. Had a very interesting match, with them. We dominated the first set, and we really stopped being aggressive offensively. And as we did that, they got more aggressive offensively, and the match flipped on us. And that's credit to Kent State. They were able to make that happen. And so for them, I think we have a good feel, for who they are. They have a really good lefty, on the opposite. They have a young outside, Binger, who's really, really good. They have experience in the middle, but they also have a young middle who's really come on late in the season. Setter, I think, is doing a good job for them. So they're really, they're a balanced team as well. And so it's just going forward, we know pretty good idea, at least what we think our opponents are going to do. There's always going to be little tweaks late, but they know what we're going to do too. I mean, it's not like anyone's going to pull something like, whoa, we had no idea that was going to happen. Okay, we have some ideas. There are little wrinkles, of course, here and there, but it's just a matter of, again, we need to play at a high level, and we need to focus on our opponents, but we need to focus mostly on ourselves and being the best we can be.